Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today we are out at a county ball field, and they've got some drainage issues out here. And you know, I've talked a little bit about Hydroblox and how they could be used on a drainage athletic field, and I think that's what we're going to do here. I'm actually going to meet with Ed. He's the CEO of Hydroblox, and they're actually building one of their manufacturing plants down here just west of Orlando. So he's going to be down here the first week of July or so, and I'm going to talk to him about getting some of that Hydroblox and see if we can't solve some of these athletic field problems. Let me show you what's going on here. So, pretty common problems that you find on ball fields, although it looks fairly dry right now. You know, when it rains hard, remember we are in Florida and the thunderstorms are severe. When it rains hard, water just pulls across all of this infield and the outfield as well, but they're not too worried about that. Granted, you know, as thunderstorms come, you know, lightning, they delay the game, but the water stands here for quite some time. So what we need to do is put some type of curtain drain, you know, under the field here so that it can drain away. The problem is, if you look, it's very flat all the way around, and this is typical on a lot of ball fields. Luckily, there is a retention pond down there, a good distance, but we could run gravity from, you know, whatever system we put in. Like I say, we might try to use Hydroblox here, or we might try to use strip drain. Strip drain does work. I've had good results with that. But we do have fall. If you have a ball field that doesn't have a place for that water to go, you really need to, you know, discharge it off to the sidelines, and get it into a sump basin and then pump it wherever you want to go. The pumps are great. I believe in them. I think they work really good. Some interesting notes. This is the most common use of yellow pipe. So basically from, you know, anywhere we want to start, we start down here at the home plate, for example, we want to run strip drain all the way across. And we want to be able to discharge off into the outfield, because out there, again, that water, I see low spots out there, but they're not that concerned about that. We can get that into a 4-inch pipe and send it, solid pipe, all the way back to the retention pond. And we put in strips across the infield, or if it's a football field, you would do it across the field. It drains both directions and it disappears. Works really good. And we had some comments. I actually answered a guy's question one time about, you know, strip drain and ball fields, and it really isn't that hard. But the big thing is you got to maintain that soil. Again, underneath of this sand, on any infield, there's usually sand, there's hard packed material. Water can't get down through that. If we look out here in the outfield, typical outfield, this is just a county field, not a professional field by any means, but they do want to maintain it. And you can see out in the outfield there's lots of, you know, up and down areas, low spots. That water drains very quickly just because there's no compacted material underneath of it. So it may pool up there for a few minutes, but it does drain pretty quick. Typical problem, I'm going to go meet with the county here and talk to them about, you know, what to do here. Talk to Ed there from Hydroblox here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll get on this job right away. Over here on visitors field number 2, this is visitors field number 2, and you can see it's still wet from the rain yesterday. Really muddy out here. They do have some drainage out here, but not nearly enough to, you know, really let this field dry. And you can see there's actually, looks like there's still, well, it's not standing, but very, very muddy. I mean, I'll step in it for you. You can see extremely muddy. Strip drain across these fields is needed in order to correct that problem. That gives that water a place to go. If you ever look at one of my estimates, if you were to look at one of my estimates, on the bottom of the estimate, it says, we cannot beat Mother Nature, but we can give the water a place to go. And that's really what drainage is all about. You'll never beat Mother Nature, that's impossible, but you can give that water a place to go, and it will go there. Batters boxes really need a lot of attention. If you've ever watched a ball game, of course, maybe you've even played ball, you know, batters stand up to bat and they kick their feet, you know, to try to get really good grip. And you can see how much, you know, they're coming into home plate, and maybe they're sliding, whatever, but it's just not draining here. They really need good drainage if you want to have a good ball field. Here's a cool little picture somebody drew. I liked it. We'll put it in the video. Over here at visitors field number 1, it's a little less of a problem, but I can see, you know, they've got, you know, the T-ball set up here. You can see home plate, and you know, before every game they do drag the surface and get it all smooth, but take a look. You can see how it's sinking down here, and they definitely need drainage in order for this to work properly. Again, most common use of yellow pipe is around ball fields. Thousands of feet are sold and installed. That's the most common use for yellow pipe. So yeah, this pipe comes in a variety of colors. It can be yellow, blue, red, purple, almost any color you can imagine. And again, the biggest use of this material is around ball fields. Even in a swimming pool, lane markers are made of the same material. Today, people have come up with ideas to, you know, put slots in the pipe, and that works extremely well. It does hold up well. When I talked to the county here, they told me that this pipe lasts about 2 years. It does have UV protection in it, but you know, here in Florida, we have a lot of sun, so it lasts about 2 years, and they have to replace it. But it is a good material, and a quick plug for that guy up there in Michigan. I hope that he does well with his sales. This pipe is a heavy-duty HDPE, very strong. So a real good example of strip drain, if you take a look, this is just a 2-inch wide channel drain, and we're in a parking lot at Staples, and you can kind of see it runs all the way across the parking lot, and it discharges into storm drains. And yeah, they need some maintenance. I can see some, you know, debris growing out of that thing, and I'm sure it needs clean, but just showing you the example. You know, the storm drain picks up that water and sends it off to retention areas or to other storm drains, but it works exactly the same. As water comes across these parking lots, it just comes across, drops into the storm drain, and into the channel drain, and is carried away. It works exactly the same. If you're putting it underground, basically it's going to go a little slower, but it does remove the water. It's really a neat system. And over here is the retention pond. And this one's really kind of interesting because you see, if you look over there, you'll see a big hole through the block. See that? That's what happens is, of course, as it rains really hard, water level rises, it comes up and it goes through that little opening into another retention pond. And I can see over there, I know it's hard for you guys to see it, but there's actually a storm drain that's well above ground, so that if water came up really high, it would go into that and carry it away. This filters the water, helps keep a lot of the debris out. Remember, this is storm water, and this is used to replenish aquifers. It becomes drinkable water eventually. Go one step further, this is a lift station, and you can see the clean out. This is a sewer lift station. That line from this building, from Staples and this building, comes out and it goes into a lift station. This is huge, and this lifts up that water and pumps it over to the main sewer drain. This is real common in Florida. It's common anywhere where you have a flat level area. Very common when you have a flat level area. Or in fact, if you think about how a city works, you know, sewer lines run downhill and downhill and downhill. Eventually, they're so deep that they have to be lifted up, and then they run downhill again. And that's what lift stations do. So, you know, we put in pumps every day. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of pumps a year. I believe in a pump. I believe it is much faster than gravity, and it works so good. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.